Hi, when I first heard that the theme was moments and memories, I wanted to immediately in my head introduce you guys to three different Leannes. There's 18-year-old Leanne, 20-year-old Leanne, and 23-year-old Leanne. 18-year-old Leanne was kind of a golden girl. I was, at that time, studying in University of the Philippines in Tacloban. Had good enough grades. I had good friends. I had a steady boyfriend. And I was already going into like my second semester of my third year. And then it was November 8th of 2013. You can imagine I had a box of food, like plastic bag of food on my right hand, a glass lamp on my left hand, a matchbox in my mouth, and I was on my tiptoes. And I was caught in the middle of Typhoon Yolanda, the strongest typhoon to hit inland. Most of my siblings, because I'm the eldest, were already upstairs because I wanted them to be safe. My 6-year-old grandma was also upstairs, as well as my autistic aunt. So I was the only actual adult because both my parents were actually working far from home. So I had this responsibility of being someone to help them. And then 20-year-old Leanne. It was January 2 of 2016, and I was up at 3 a.m. And there were so many negative things in my head because I just found a group chat of all of my workmates who were talking so many bad stuff about me. It wasn't even at work. It was how I was wearing, how I was bringing myself, how I was this little annoying person who kept being so jolly and being so happy to them. Like they wanted me to stop because they just wanted me to be just like them. And finally, 23-year-old Leanne, which is a few months ago in November of 2019. It was right after the first birthday of my grandmother after she passed away. And I was so depressed. I was having so bad anxiety about my own life. She was someone I looked up to, and she was one of the people who supported me even though I had different decisions. She was the one who said, "You can do it, Leanne. I'm so proud of you, Leanne." And even though I wasn't religious, she still prayed for me. She still loved me with everything, and she was so shorter than me that I had to hug her going down. It was the first birthday that we celebrated without her. So you might be wondering, why am I still here? Why am I still this, you've seen me this laughing, this jolly person. How can I be speaking in front of you, still alive, going to be speaking in Freedom Summit in a few days? And it all goes down to one moment. One single moment that always causes me to rise up. It was the moment during Typhoon Yolanda when I was carrying those two things on my tiptoes, a matchbox in my mouth, that I had this screaming voice in my head that I said that if I overcome this and live the same life, I would not be happy. I needed to change something. So I spit out that matchbox, called for my brother, and practically threw the Tupperware at him. For some reason, until this day, I can't remember how, I climbed up through our stairs, went to the second floor, got to my family and hugged them. And I changed my life. I moved to Cebu right after my second semester. I actually finished it and basically have been living this virtual life. I always didn't want to work in a cubicle even before that. And if I continue the life that was kind of set for me before, I would have probably ended up there. So I changed my life. I moved to Cebu all my own, lived in a matchbox apartment for 3,000 pesos a month because I just needed to change my life, to do something about it. 20-year-old Leanne knew, because at that time I was a new CEO, knew that I had to be a better leader, knew that it happened because at the 6 months that I was training to be CEO, I wasn't a leader. So I studied all of these books, I studied all of these courses, I tested things, I hired new people because I couldn't trust the people I already had. So I had to actually restart our whole company. And 23-year-old Leanne started loving herself more. After my grandma died, I realized that she had so much love for me that I had to give that to myself. So I started journaling, I started doing meditation, I started being more serious about my self-awareness and what I actually wanted to do with my life. I had this amazing life so far. I'm currently running 2 companies, and still I didn't love myself enough. There are moments and memories in your life that it can seem so bleak. You could be drowning in stress, in just negativity, or almost water. And you can still rise up if you make the decision. It is your decision to rise up and overcome. You can overcome if a 18-year-old can move to another city, still have PTSD and anxiety from everything that happened, and so come here 23 years old, standing before you, still happy and jolly and so positive about life. You can do it too. All you gotta do is rise up.
Yeah.